Okay, let's do another blind medium. So this is solved, but it's been a minute. You can see it's saved with nothing. It's been a minute since I've done this one, so essentially it's like I'm seeing it for the first time again. But I am familiar with the problem, and I do generally know what I want to do. But, this one's pretty straightforward anyway. I don't really think that this is a medium in terms of difficulty. I think it's a medium in terms of length. It just takes a little bit to write. But yeah, determine if a 9 by 9 Sudoku board is valid. Only the filled cells need to be validated according to the following rules. Each row must contain digits 1 through 9 without repetition. Each column must contain the digits 1 through 9 without repetition. Each of the 9 3 by 3 subboxes must contain the digits 1 through 9 without repetition. Yeah, and then it doesn't have to be solvable, it just has to be valid in its current state. Makes sense. And it's all in strings. Doesn't really need to be in numbers. My only thought is, I mean, is there a quick way to find the matches in an array? Because my thought would just be to do a nested loop, but I know that that might take a little while. I think I'm overthinking it. I'll just write it and see if it's fast. I think that I don't think it'll be much slower than like some fancy way of finding duplicates in a list. So for this one, basically, I'm just going to write a bunch of helper functions, and then at the end, just kind of run them all together. So I'll have a helper function that checks an individual row, an individual column, an individual box, and then I'll just have 3 loops that run through all the rows, columns, and boxes. Yeah. In terms of efficiency, to be honest, I'm curious. I don't think that there's. I could be wrong, but I don't think that there's a much faster way to go about it, because I think with how many different possible scenarios you could have for Sudoku, that like this one would find possible pairs just as fast as another possible route. Anyway, divine check road. For this would just be a nested loop with 2 pointers, I guess. But do we want to just strip the? So I'm just gonna look up a quick function of strip an array of certain values. Just a quick syntax. Google. Filter, yeah. Filter. Okay, makes sense. So first, let's just take the row. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So stripped row is list filter lambda x does not equal okay, I think that makes sense. If that's a syntax problem, we'll find it out later, but I think the logic should stay the same. And then this is just saving time because this prevents you from comparing empty cells to empty cells because the empty cells do not matter per the situation. All that we care about is the numbers. The only thing that can be problematic is a number. The empty cells, they can be as they are. Now we're just going to do a nested loop. We'll do for, let's say, in range length of stripped row -1. -1 because the other one will compare the other two. Well, by the time you reach the last one, it'll already have been compared to all of them. Since we don't need to compare bidirectionally. For cell 2 in range length of stripped row, and then this one can go all the way to the end, but also we do need to add the start. So the start would be cell 1 plus 1. Makes sense. If stripped row cell 1 equals stripped row cell 2, so there's a match. False. And then if you make it out of that alive, you return true. I love that style. I don't know why. The gauntlet. Okay, cool. Now we're going to do a very similar thing, but for check column. Now, this is giving the same thing, but we had to comprise the column into a list. So I wonder, I'm going to experiment here. No, I mean, maybe there's a cool way I can type this out. If so, I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to Google the cool way to type it out, because I know exactly how to do it. It's obvious of how you would like iterate through the rows to get the ones in a specific column. But my intuition is telling me there's like a cool one-line way to do this. I think it's array. From what I know, could be like board r call num for r in range This would be crazy if this worked, because I'm honestly just I think this is right, but I feel like this would make me really excited about LeetCode because I feel like I am learning something here. I mean, not that I'm surprised by that, but yeah. For R in range, we know it's gonna be 9 by 9, so we could just do 9, but I'd rather do board length. You know what? No, I'll be cheesy. We know it's gonna be 9. I'll say 9. I'll hard code it. I don't care, because that might save us a whole pike a second. And then we can just do the same thing we did here. We'll just filter that. Wow, this is going to be one big line. If that works, I'm going to crap my pants. Yeah. Okay, and now we have check square. So the square number, I'm thinking, just for visualization's sake, I'm thinking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're going to make strip square. Maybe I should start commenting the code. Okay, so strip square, list filter lambda x does not equal. Okay, so this one we had to work in two directions. Could we do like you know what? I'm not gonna try to do a fancy one here. I think this will be fancy enough as is. Okay. Strip square is a blank array. 4 are in range. Okay, now how do we multiply the square number to get the specific values? Is there a quick way to do it, or do we have to just give the coordinates instead? Maybe it's not worth. Maybe it's not worth the overthinking. Let's just use the coordinates. Square row, square col. 4 are in range. Square row. It's a square row plus 2. No. Square row times 3. So this is supposed to get, like, I'll like do an example right here. This one would iterate through bang, bang, bang. So if it's row 0, it'd be row 0 times 3. So it's iterating through. Okay, that's it. That's the one. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So I'll explain it out loud anyway. For example, if it's the third row, it would be, I would give it 2. If it's the third row of the big cells, it would be given 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. So we get 6, 7, 8 because it's 0 indexed. So yeah, and then it's the same thing for the columns. And then actually we don't need to do this anymore because it can just all be in this one thing. In fact, I'm wondering if I could have just done that before. I wonder if I am wasting time by going through it once, because in theory, by the time I filter it once, I could have just filtered it. Like, I could have just gone through it as I checked to make sure there are no matches. Because I'm already checking to see if there... No, but... If you firmly know if one's faster than the other, let me know in the comments. I'm just trying to think through, because this one has the benefit of not having to compare one value to the entire list every time. Because this one filters it out, and then as it filters it out, well, then once it filters it out, it compares the now smaller list, and the second it finds a wrong value, it stops there. I don't know. I don't think it matters. It works at the end of the day. LeetCode is driving me crazy, I think, because I'm out here worrying about milliseconds. Well, I could just be having the code be getting done. Square call times 3 plus 3. So first we check if it's, so if board R C does not equal we might have to do like a nested if statement. We can't just do and, I think. So my idea is to check, okay, is it an empty one? Oh, actually, if it's an empty one, maybe we could just say continue. Yeah, that'd be good. And then if it's not an empty one, if board so we check if it's an empty one, and if it's an empty one, we just carry on. It's a harmless empty cell. If it's not, if it's in it, then row return false. Otherwise, append it to the list. Okay, now that we've got the 3 helper functions done, we want to just write it out. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Now, for R in range 9, I'm gonna hard code it. I don't care. It's for 9 by 9s. I'm doing it for the puzzle. No need to worry about different sizes. Maximum speed. No need to do a looper or anything. It can be one line. It could be O1 in this specific. No, but not that that's O1. But whatever. Okay. Okay. For R in range 9. So we're going to do another kind of gauntlet thing. We're going to check everything and return false if we ever find a bad actor. And if not, then we just continue on. If check row R. How about if not check row R? Because otherwise it'll return true. Do we ever return true here? Yes, we did. For C in range 9, if not, check call. C, return false. And then this one, okay. So, just to be clear, I would be ecstatic if these lines worked because that was just a total guess. And that's a lot of functions in one. It's got a lambda function, you know, it's got a array made in one line. That'd be neat. Let's run it. Oh, it was not called check call, it was called check column. Oh, nope, I did not mean to click submit. Okay, so it looks like it's returning false even when it shouldn't be. Since I don't have the pro, I just gotta use print statements. Okay, it's a bad square. Wow, that means that the column actually worked. So what was wrong? Square? Oh. I guess continue. Oh. That's what it was. Again, it was a flipped not equals. It should have been equals. Let's see if that works. And that works. And it works. Not the fastest. Let's see if I run it again, if it's any faster. Yeah. Okay, so maybe don't judge yourself too harshly on your runtime because sometimes it's just luck of the draw when it comes down to milliseconds. I'll take 45%. I'm happy with that. I'm sure there's a faster way I could do it. I think that I'm not sure if it's because of my check square function or my check column function. Because this does kind of feel a little redundant to do a pass through initially just to do another pass through. But I'm just kind of proud of myself for writing this and getting it right in one try. Yeah. Cool. That was fun. I feel like I'm learning stuff here. Thanks for watching.